Hello, everybody. Kyoto and Arashiyama, probably the highlight of this trip. And I'm not exaggerating at all. Onsens, Torii gates, shrines, temples, tea ceremonies. So much to do. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to start off with Arashiyama first. This is about a 30-minute train ride from Kyoto Station. It is probably the most famous for the bamboo forest. However, what I really liked about the hotel that we stayed at, which was the Kyoto Arashiyama Onsen, this location was perfect. It's right by this gorgeous river. We only stayed here for one night because it was so freaking expensive, but it was worth it. Hands down, absolutely. So for 3 people, it was for one night, just over $560. Ouch. I never spent that at a hotel. But the reason I stayed here is because this place just screams Japan. The beautiful traditional paper windows, the beautiful teak, and of course the onsens. Now, I've got a lot of tattoos. So one of the big things, especially with onsens, is that the more older ones do not allow you to go in with tattoos. I don't blame them. I like their traditions. So finding some that we could go to, with myself having so many that I could not cover, I decided to pick a place that had private ones. However, this place here was worth every penny. You do not need to stay in this area. As I said before, it's a 30-minute train ride from Kyoto Station, but you don't need to just go to this area for the bamboos. So let's break down a couple of things that you can do. So obviously there's the very overcrowded bamboo forest. Now I will say, if you go very early or later in the evening, the crowds aren't as bad. We went during Golden Week. If you haven't seen my previous 2 videos, you'll know that this area here specifically is super packed. We decided once we arrived, we took our time, we walked around the riverside. There's a cute little park here. We grabbed ourselves some meat on a stick, and then we made our way up to this bamboo forest. And it was not as busy as I thought it was going to be, but it also just finished raining. So we kind of lucked out there, but then it was so late, we weren't able to go and check out a few other places, which I am going to point out right here. The Monkey Village or Monkey Park is really something I wanted to do, as well as these 2 other places. This one in particular because it also has a bamboo park. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. There's also another one that you can visit in Kyoto, and we will get to that. Now, because it was getting late, there was a lot of places that were actually closed. However, one of the other stops that we made on our way back to our hotel was the Kimono Forest. This is so freaking adorable. Honestly, we could have stayed here laughing all night. It was such a cute little station. It's actually a little train station, but they've got these beautiful lights, and we kind of just sat around and just kind of people watched a little bit and had some fun while we were at it. But yeah, it was the highlight of my night. One of the other things that I actually really enjoyed about this hotel too was, of course, the free ramen at 10:30 at night. It was so good. Honestly, we had this and then we just crashed. So unfortunately, when we wanted to go out the next morning, like I said, it was so much rain. We were not able to visit any of the other places. So we had decided instead just to stick around the hotel and enjoy these amazing onsens. So after we had finished with the onsens, we got ourselves ready and we decided to jump in a cab and just take the cab straight to Kyoto. The next place that we stayed at was actually an Airbnb. This is our one and only Airbnb on the trip. And the reason I picked it is because it was an amazing location. This place was so freaking cute. I loved this little place. The only thing I didn't like was the really steep stairs. I have a size 7.5 foot and my foot overhung on these stairs. It was a little creepy and it kind of nicked the back of your legs as you're walking down, but it was really cute. And the person that we got this from was super sweet. But again, the location was perfect. So before we go on to the places that we visited in Kyoto, I'm gonna give you another little tip. Your IC card, which I explained in the Tokyo video, if you haven't seen it, go and check it out here. The IC card also works here, depending on which one you get. The one that we got was the Suica. Now, be warned, this is not Tokyo. You will be waiting a little bit longer, not a lot longer, but you will be waiting a short while, anywhere from 7 to 13 minutes for trains here. The one thing that I absolutely loved about Kyoto was how they keep with their traditional look, traditional feel. Everything is traditional here. And just walking in the streets, of course, you have your more modern areas that are newer, but for the most part, it is really adorable. I loved this area. Okay, so places to visit. Let's start with shrines and temples because there are so many here. Obviously, some famous ones, some not so famous ones. So I'm going to give you the top ones that we visited and the reason why you should definitely check them out. The first one that we went to was the Yasaka Shrine. Now, this one here was actually erected in 1656 AD, and it is probably one of the biggest places to visit, especially during any type of festivals or holidays. This one here by far stands out the most when you talk about Kyoto. Kodaiji Temple. This one here, I really loved. I wish we had come a little later, only because I really wanted to see the light show here. It was just way too long to stick around. Plus, there were so many other places that we wanted to visit that night. But what I liked the most about this was it sits up a little higher. So you actually walk up a staircase, and to the left at the top of the staircase is the entrance. And oh, this place was beautiful. So if you remember when I was talking about the bamboo forest, they actually have their own little bamboo trail. Now, the only thing is though, it does close earlier than the light show. So if you want to get some bamboo pictures, you definitely want to make sure you come up here before about 5 or 6 o'clock, or they close that area off. However, the walking tour through here, the buildings, the old architecture, the stone gardens, there's so much to see here. I would give yourself anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour at least to see this place. So the next one to it is Ryozen Temple, Ryozen Kannon Temple. Now, it was closed by the time we got there, but the one thing that I really liked was the gigantic Buddha that was in the center or behind it that you could still see from where you're standing at the other temple. And it was absolutely beautiful. You could also see the backside of it during the bamboo area. So this is really cool to see, but unfortunately you have to get there before, I believe it's like 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Next up, I'm going to let you in on a secret spot. So in the parking lot in front of the temple, there is a gift shop, and to the right of it, there's a smoking area. Now, if you haven't seen one of the famous pictures in Kyoto, obviously, as of the Kyoto Tower, there is a beautiful area surrounded by flowers with gorgeous trees, everything else, and an amazing shot of the Kyoto Tower. So that is my next tip for you. However, just around the corner from that is another spot, which is also very famous and very crowded, but the smoking area is not. There's also a staircase that goes down where people take famous pictures of the floral wall, which is absolutely beautiful, but was super, super crowded with obviously all your famous Instagrammers and people looking for their new profile pictures. Last shrine that we're going to talk about is the, of course, super famous Torii Gate Shrine, and that is the Fushimi Inari Taisha. I think I said that correct, and if I didn't, I apologize, but this I saved for last. One, because I'm sure you've heard of it. It is the most famous spot for Instagram photos, but be warned, you need to be here early. We arrived at 7 o'clock and I really wanted to be there for 6. Unfortunately, we didn't get there until 7 and it was quite busy, but still quiet enough that you could still take quite a few pictures. The one great thing about it is once you start getting higher, the crowds really thin out and there are so many places that you can stop to take pictures. We did the entire circle and honestly, I absolutely loved it. You can pick and choose how you want to do it. It is a wraparound or you can go up as high as you want and then come back down again. It's entirely up to you how you do the circuit. My next tip for you is when you leave here, right here is where you're going to get the, I think it's called mochi, and the candy covered fruit. This guy here, honest to God, hands down, was probably one of the sweetest people that we met in Kyoto. He was so unbelievably sweet. And this little dessert was the first time that I ever had it. And honestly, I didn't have it again afterwards because I thought if I ate somewhere else and it wasn't as good, it would ruin it for me. So this is the only place where I actually got it. And it was so freaking delicious. So definitely stop here once you leave the Torii gates. So I'm just going to take a quick second and ask for your support. One of the ways that you can help this channel for free is by liking, subscribing, and sharing, and also commenting on the videos. So if you think that I missed anything in this video, don't forget to leave a comment below so that other people may read your comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And of course, if you think anyone's going to benefit, don't forget to share. Back to Kyoto. And of course, one of the infamous spots, and again, another Instagrammable place, which actually surprisingly was not that busy. And everybody there was so happy and helpful. And, you know, we were taking funny pictures and people were laughing with us. And it was really, you know, I have to say for a time, again, during Golden Week, it was so busy, but everybody was just so happy. It was locals and tourists alike. It was, no one was getting frustrated. No one was getting angry. It was, honestly, it was just a breath of fresh air. In this area here, of course, you have the old buildings, the teak, a really interesting Starbucks. But yeah, I just really loved the old traditional look. So one of the other things that I really wanted to do in Kyoto was visit some of the markets. Again, it was Golden Week, and to say that it was jam-packed would be an understatement. It was not going to be enjoyable for me. So we went in, we had a walkthrough. We did not do any stopping whatsoever just because, well, yeah, there wasn't really room for you to stop and have a look around. So this market here, Nishiki Market, this was really close to where we were doing our next big stop, but I would highly suggest coming through here if it is not Golden Week. So I know that I did, and I don't talk a whole lot about food unless something really strikes me. And this is not your traditional Japanese place. However, I am going to give a shout out, one, because the service here was absolutely incredible. And second, these burgers, I mean, I love a good burger, and this place here, Dragon Burger, by far was probably one of my top burgers that I've ever had in my life. It was so unbelievably good. We also tried sake for the first time. Come to find out, we probably didn't do it right. We just asked for sake, and yeah, we're smiles here, but we did not enjoy it at all. To be honest with you, I didn't even drink it. But then it came to find out that we probably should have asked for it to be warmed up. We didn't, we drank it cold. Not a fan, so sorry, my friends of Japan. No, I'm not into sake, and I don't even think I would enjoy it warmed up. Maybe I'll try it one day, just not sure, probably not. So the last part of this video is something I was really looking forward to, and I was not disappointed at all. One of the things that I really wanted to try was a traditional tea ceremony. And the reason being is whenever I think of Japan, I think of the Karate Kid. And one of the things that he did was try a traditional tea ceremony, and I had to do it. So we actually went to Nishiki Orizuruya, and I'm gonna say that I probably pronounced that wrong, but here it is here. The other thing I really liked about this place was that it was in an old traditional building. You got your hair done, you got to wear the traditional kimono, they dressed you and everything. And I really enjoyed learning the history on how it was. At one time, it was something for obviously the nobles and the men of Japan. And now it's become a more traditional woman thing to do. And I really, really like that. And the history, we were not allowed to do a lot of filming. And to be honest with you, I really wanted to take this all in. But this is something, if you are coming to Japan, that you must do. It is definitely an amazing experience. So I'm going to end the video there. And yeah, this was my favorite part of Japan. I'm not going to lie. I really want to come back, not during Golden Week, at a time that's maybe just a little less crowded, to really take it in. So next video is going to be, of course, Hiroshima and Fukuoka. And I cannot wait to talk about these two places. I'm doing them together because we only spent a short time in each. So that will be on the next video. Of course, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed and you want to see any of my future videos, do not forget to hit the subscribe and the notification bell. And of course, if you think anyone's going to benefit from this, don't forget to share. Bye, everybody.